So today's video is very exciting. I'm going to talk about why I believe the next leg of the bull market has just started. And I'm also going to talk about how much money you can make in the next couple of months. Just looking at how early we are to this next leg, most people's portfolios are going to recover completely. But to make big money, you're going to have to do things slightly differently this time around. And I'm going to discuss what that is in today's video. I'm going to describe what this next leg is going to look like and how it's going to play out. And of course, before we start, nothing here is financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, so I'm going to start off this video by discussing whether or not the bottom is in. A lot of people think this is a fake out rally, and we're going to revisit the low 70s again. If we look at my previous analysis on April 2nd, I was saying that we've actually already bottomed on March 10th, and I'm expecting late April, May, and June to be really bullish. I think this analysis was spot on. Yes, Bitcoin did go like 3% lower afterwards. But with these sorts of things, we have to allow for some variance or deviation. It's not always going to be 100% right to the dollar. But the main focal point of this video was that there's no reason for Bitcoin to go into a bear market and go below 70k and for the cycle to be over. And the main way I knew that was through this chart. Look at 2021. It cost only 20k to make one Bitcoin and the price was 60k. There was a huge gap in production cost and the actual price. Whereas if we look at this time around, there isn't that much of a gap. The production cost and the actual price is almost the same. And then following on from that, I said late April, around April 25th, would be when we can expect the next major move to start forming. And you can see that on your screen right now. So in this video, my main points that I made, the analysis remains valid. I don't see any reason for a bear market to come. If you look at the stock market situation and how it sold off in early April, this only gave me more conviction to accumulate and buy more at the lows. Now I'll tell you what I bought down here in just a bit. Make sure you pay attention because I really think what I bought is a cheat code in crypto. But first, for the meat of the video, I'm going to discuss the playbooks for the next few months and how we can maximize the amount of money we make in crypto. I love doing this sort of notes playbook style analysis now because if we don't have a map of what we expect to happen, it's really easy to get frustrated by crypto and end up selling at the worst time. So the first playbook I made was in February. I was calling for more chop on Bitcoin and more bleed on altcoins. I was calling for retail to completely quit the cycle and that after March, we would start going up again. And that people wouldn't believe in the rally and they'd short the way up and get blown out. And that's pretty much exactly what's happened so far. I followed it up with a second playbook in March. And I said, look, in April, it's likely we might get another scare that's even worse than the initial one that we got in March. And I said that after that, April would be extremely bullish. So what I want to focus on now is the rest of this playbook. What's going to happen after April? What's going to happen in May, June, and July? Because that's what's going to matter to you most right now, because those are the months where you can make real money if you know how to play it. So to explain how I think we should be playing this next major leg of the bull market, let's take a look at today's situation. Bitcoin has exploded, there's no doubt about that. It's definitely caught a ton of people off guard and a lot more people are sidelined than you think on this move over here. If you're someone who's held through all of this, or even if you accumulated during these lows, first of all, well done, because this was not easy. In terms of the hardest parts of this cycle, this was 100% the hardest. Make sure you give yourself credit. You're better at this game than you think. And to me, it's a clear sign that long term, you'll be able to make real money in this space and you won't have to rely on other people and influencers. Some people may think I'm exaggerating, but just remember, even some of the most prominent influencers sold the lows recently. So it just goes to show that you have the ability to make better decisions than some of the people that you look up to in this space. And really, you can just rely on yourself. Now, if you're sidelined, I'm going to keep it real with you. The problem isn't missing this move from 77k to 94k. Of course, you miss some gains and that's annoying. But the bigger issue is the looming question of, okay, where do you actually buy now? if you buy now, you're buying when the 6-hour RSI is the highest it's been in 5 months. If you go back, it hasn't been this high since 12th of November after Trump won. Objectively, on the low time frames, it makes sense to wait for a dip. But equally, I know what you have in the back of your mind. That fear of, okay, if this goes to 100k, what if it starts closing above 100k? What do I do now? And that's where the problem is. It's not about missing this move. It's about, okay, when do I buy back now? It's very difficult. And this is the problem you face when you look for confirmation or you miss out on accumulating during fear. Now, I really do hope that you'll be able to get some sort of a good entry, especially on the thing that I'm going to share with you in just a couple of minutes, because I think that's the number one pick for this next leg. And with the 6-hour RSI being so overheated, I do think it is possible you'll be able to buy the dip, so don't feel too bad. But back to the playbook, here's what you can expect to happen over the next few months. And this is not me just making things up, but this is based on historical patterns and how each of these bull market legs have played out. So there's 3 things I'm going to discuss: Bitcoin, the altcoins in your portfolio, and the opportunities that are going to come that can really explode your portfolio. So firstly, my base case for Bitcoin is around 150k. Now I say 150k, I'm not one for price predictions, but that's likely where I'll be taking some profit off the table. The truth is, we don't have any idea where this thing's going to top out this cycle. But what we do need to focus on is trend loss. Once we see Bitcoin lose its trend, which is the 25 EMA, so this green line over here, it's always a warning shot. Once this happens in the next leg, we need to consider cutting positions across the board. I'll make another video on this topic. And this time around, for this next leg, I'm actually going to try and be consistent with my uploads and make a weekly update video on this key trend. I've talked about it before and how important it is, but for this next leg up, it's going to be so crucial. And the reason for that is, after this next major leg up, we won't be able to say with such conviction that the cycle isn't over. I'm going to make a video discussing how many more legs the cycle might have. Make sure you subscribe to see that. And if you don't know what I mean by major legs, I'm talking about things like this. So from August 2024 to January 2025, this was a major leg of the market where you get mega gains on Bitcoin and you also get big centralized exchange altcoin rallies that feel like an alt season, but they cut off early and you get a mania in a new narrative. And that's where the real life-changing money is to be made. So to put that into context, from August 2024 to Jan 2025, Bitcoin went from 48k to 110k, and coins like Bonk, Sui, XRP went on big rallies, and that mania that came was AI agents. That's what we had recently. I could do this with the previous leg as well, with Bitcoin exploding from 25k to 69k. We've got major centralized exchange coins like Soul ripping, and we had a mania phase in Solana memes. You already know all of this stuff. So what that means for you as this next leg plays out is you can make a lot of good, safe gains in Bitcoin. The altcoins in your portfolio will recover, and just a few centralized exchange coins will stand out and really perform well. And there's going to be a new narrative that explodes and steals all the attention, and that's where the big money is going to be made. I expect that to come in summer because it usually comes after Bitcoin has made its major move up. So if I can say one thing to you right now, it would be to lock in and start paying maximum attention to crypto again, because in just a couple of months, things are going to get so heated again and money is going to be flying everywhere. During this next leg up, I'm going to make videos on the best altcoins. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on, because a lot of these opportunities will be really fast and you have to jump on them really quick. During the last leg up, I avoided talking about low caps on this channel, but this time around, I'm not going to do that. I think no matter what I do, people will always find a way to complain, and I need to do my job in making sure I'm bringing the best altcoin research on this YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and make sure you're early to every new video that I put out. I'm also going to make videos on when Bitcoin loses its daily trend, so keep an eye out for that. Also, one more really important thing, I'm going to share my portfolio more in depth on these YouTube videos because I think to really help people, I realized this recently, you need to show them your portfolio with a dedicated video. A lot of people, when I sold the majority of my portfolio into Bitcoin back in January, they weren't paying attention, maybe because it's a small section of the video and because they skip through, and also because I simply don't upload enough, which means it doesn't stick in people's minds. I realized that you have to keep uploading every day and repeating your point to make people really understand and to drill it into their minds. Because I think a lot more people would have de-risked into Bitcoin with me back in January if I kept making videos daily and showing my portfolio properly with a full breakdown. So I'm going to try and make a greater commitment to you. I think the biggest issue with this channel is the inconsistency of uploads. I'm man enough to admit that, and I'll be working on changing that. So make sure you subscribe, because this next leg, the calls, the pumps, will be the most important and the biggest of this cycle. And that's for two reasons. Firstly, it's going to be the biggest and most aggressive leg, because just think about Bitcoin going to 150k, etc. The wealth effect and the attention it's going to get is going to be incredible. And also because I won't be able to hold your hand and say with 90% confidence down here that the bottom is in. I'm only going to be able to say, okay, 50% chance when we dip back down to 120k or whatever that there's another leg coming. And to be honest, that's quite scary. So make sure you lock in, please, and try and make the best of this next opportunity that we're going to get. I'm going to make another dedicated video on this leg concept for you, because just one leg is enough to change everything for you. And again, one leg equals a multi-month uptrend like this one on your screen right now. So I told you in this video, I tell you what my highest conviction play for this next leg is. And I think it will surprise a lot of you because it's not even an altcoin, but it gives better gains than altcoins without the insane risk that's associated with holding something that goes down minus 90%. And that high conviction investment is MSTR. Yes, it's the Michael Saylor stock. I know this is quite controversial, but just look at what I have to show you. Basically, this thing acts like 2.5x leverage on Bitcoin. And think about it this way. We buy altcoins because we think Bitcoin is going to go up and altcoins will go up even more and they'll go up faster. But the problem with altcoins is the space is a red ocean. It's so cynical and the narratives rotate so fast. You also have to avoid getting scammed in 50 different directions, from influencers pumping and dumping on you to just straight up rugs like And actually, a lot of the time, altcoins won't even outperform Bitcoin meaningfully to the point where you're rewarded for the risk that you take. So in my view, MSTR can beat altcoins in terms of the gains it gives. And I don't even need to take on narrative risk, rotation risk, or even rug pull risk. It's basically the ultimate altcoin. It's like a cheat code. Like, look, even recently, it pumps more than Pepe. How insane is that? Now, I told people on X I'm looking to buy it at 230s, and it went there. I don't usually give out such clear calls like this on X, but I thought for this one time, because I had really great conviction in it, and I wanted people to make money from it, I'd put it on there. I also made the alerts in the premium Discord when I bought it. Now, I really regret not making a video on MSTR because look at the price now and look how much it's gone up. But hopefully I've got another video dedicated to explaining this play properly, because this is by no means a full analysis. What I've just shown you is just an extract. I'm going to leave the full premium thesis that I posted in the Discord in the description, so check it out if you want to see my thought process behind this play. The only real issue with this play is it's difficult for some people to buy. I completely understand that, especially for people from Asia. But even for me, it was quite difficult to buy. But I put that extra effort in and I got rewarded for it. So I loaded up my account with 100k, and 3 weeks later, they were still asking me for my source of funds, which was really annoying. But it's all sorted now. It is a hassle and it does require extra steps to buy this, and it's not as seamless as selling your Bitcoin and just buying this on a crypto exchange. You've got to withdraw it to your bank and then put it into a broker. It's really annoying. But if you look at what this thing can do, like look at last year, it gave more gains than Pepe and Bonk. And just look at when I was calling it and how much gains it's given already. I think depending on Bitcoin, this is not an official price prediction, but I think this thing can go from 1,000 to 2,000. It completely depends on Bitcoin, but somewhere in that range is where I think it can go. Not financial advice, but I do think this is the golden call for the next leg of this bull market, and it's what I'd look to buy on any dips that we might get. Anyways, I have so many videos and things I need to say to you after my long departure from YouTube. I'm going to ask you every time I make a video, please watch it. It's going to be really important to you, and thank you for watching this video.